Kathy from High Desert Living. I just wanted to show you guys how to make this triple chocolate cake for high altitude. It's a really decadent cake for chocolate lovers, and I don't know about you, but ever since I got here I've been having a hard time baking anything. It either comes out underdone in the middle and overdone on the outside, or completely burnt, even though I follow the instructions and tweak the recipe for high altitude. But I came across this recipe for triple chocolate high altitude cake, and you can either make cupcakes or an 8-inch round cake or 9-inch round cake, and I think you'll really like it. It's simple. It uses a cake mix, and you just add some extra ingredients like sour cream and butter and a couple more eggs than what's normally called for, and it's really good. As you can see, this cake is so rich you don't even need icing. But I'm going to also show you how to make chocolate ganache icing. It's a really simple recipe, and all you need to make it is some chocolate chips and some whipping cream and a little bit of vanilla extract or any other flavoring that you want to use. So stay tuned. Also, just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be posting the recipe in the comment section, and I'll also post it at the end of this video. So don't worry, you won't have to take notes while you're watching the video. Okay, so what you'll need to make this cake is a cake mix, and I've chosen this Betty Crocker triple fudge cake mix, super moist cake mix, that it says it has pudding already in the mix. And I suppose you could use any brand you wanted to, like Pillsbury or Duncan Hines, as long as it's one of those moist cake mixes, and it should have pudding in the mix. Or you could probably add some, but you know, like, why not just buy a cake mix that already has it included in the mix. And instead of using oil, you're going to use a cup of butter, or that's 2 cubes, 4 eggs. Normally you would use 3 large eggs, but for this recipe you're going to use 4 large eggs or 6 bantam size eggs. So I've got these little eggs here to show you what size a bantam egg is compared to a large egg. If you put them up against each other, one is about twice as large as the other one. So 6 bantam or 4 large eggs. And then you're going to use a 1.25 cups of regular sour cream. Don't get the non-fat stuff or the low-fat stuff. Get regular sour cream. And then I'm going to make an 8-inch cake and 12 cupcakes. So you're going to have a 8-inch cake pan and 2 6-cup muffin pans or a 12-cup muffin pan. So I'm not going to go through all the steps with you here, or I'm not going to perform all the steps with you here, because it's a really simple recipe to make. You just make it like any other cake mix, just with these added or extra ingredients. So you preheat your oven to 350, and I've got a little gas oven in my RV. I've had to tweak it a little, tweak some recipes a little bit, but for this recipe, if you have a gas oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit is a safe bet. So preheat it for about 15 minutes before you, or you can preheat it while you're mixing up the cake mix. You use like a large size bowl. I like to use stainless steel. You could use glass or a Pyrex bowl. I don't like to use plastic bowls because they tend to hold odors. Like if you have you made a salad and it has onions in it, it might make your cake taste like onions. So I wouldn't use a plastic bowl. Anyway, you add the cake mix to the bowl. Make sure that your butter is soft, or you could put it in the microwave and defrost it for about 2 minutes, and it'll be soft enough to use in this cake mix. And then you want to measure out 1.25 cups of sour cream and crack your eggs into the bowl and just mix it until it's really nice and fluffy. It's going to be a lot thicker than a usual cake mix. You know, it's kind of thin, but this is going to be really thick and fluffy. So when you prepare your cake pan, I always grease it with butter and then cut out a parchment paper lining for it, or you could use freezer paper. Just make sure that the plastic side isn't against the cake. Make sure the paper side is facing the cake. And then you want to grease or add paper muffin pan liners to your cupcake pans, and then go ahead and bake it I set my timer for 22 minutes, and then I check it at that point, and to see if it's done, you want to press it with your finger, and if it bounces back, then it's done. If you still see an indent when you touch the top of the cupcake or the cake, then you want to leave it in for a minute or two longer. Just watch it real carefully. You don't want to overdo this. And then pull it out and let it cool, and I will show you how to make the icing, which is ganache. And I think you'll really love that, because I don't know, I'm a real chocolate lover, and this is like a triple chocolate cake. It's really, really decadent and rich. You won't want to eat more than a couple of slices at a time. Or maybe you might, I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned. Okay, so now we're going to make the ganache that goes on top of your high altitude chocolate cake, and this is a really easy process. All you need is about 9 ounces of chocolate chips, the regular semi-sweet chocolate ones, and that's about 1.5 cups. The recipe calls for 9 ounces. You want a small container of whipping cream, that's 1/2 pint or 8 ounces. I like to use vanilla and orange extract. You might want to just use vanilla or some other kind of flavoring like almond extract. The list is kind of endless. If you like peppermint flavored chocolate, you might use a few drops of peppermint extract. That would actually be really good. But today I'm going to use the vanilla and orange extract. Make sure it's real vanilla, because that I don't know. I think the flavor is better. It's imitation vanilla. It doesn't taste nearly as good as the real vanilla. So anyway, I should have warmed this up first, but you want to warm up the whipping cream till it's almost boiling over just a little bit higher than medium heat. We'll let that go for a while and we'll come back to it. Okay, so now that your cream has just about come to a boil, you don't want to let it go to a full boil, because then you'll have a skin forming on the top of the cream, and you don't want that. So you pour it into or on top of the chocolate chips, and you should let it cool for a little while, probably about 5 minutes. If you start whipping it or stirring it right away, then it will become grainy. So I kind of just pour it on top and go and do something else for a while. Don't wait too long. 5 minutes is just about right. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to start stirring it. It's kind of gently at first. Stir it so that the chocolate begins to get smoother. You can use a wire whisk or a mixing spoon, it doesn't really matter. I kind of like to use this mixer right here with the whisk attachment. It's kind of easy to clean, so I don't really mind doing it. I'm using a hot plate here because I don't have my range installed in my house yet. After all these months, I do have a gas oven in my RV, so it's starting to get really nice and shiny and smooth. I don't think I'm even going to need this mixer. So you just make sure it's like really nice and smooth, very glossy, pretty looking. So easy. So you want to add about half a cup or half a teaspoon of vanilla, or half a teaspoon total of your extract. So I just use the cap as a measure. Probably not that accurate, but it's good enough for me. So I found my measuring spoons. So I like the orange vanilla taste. So I use equal parts of vanilla and orange extract. Just mix it in really good so it's all incorporated and have even taste throughout. And then before you put it on your cake or your cupcakes, you want to let it cool a little while longer till it's about room temperature. That should be probably about, I don't know, 10 minutes. So anyway, we'll let that go for a while. Okay, so the ganache has been cooling for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and as you can see, it's still really nice and glossy, and it's kind of thick. I have to resist the urge to taste it. Of course, my hands will get all sticky, but anyway, I have the cupcakes here. I like to put a cookie sheet underneath them so it catches the spilled ganache. You're going to just pour it right over or spoon it over. It's really pretty easy. This is like the easiest icing I think I've ever done. So I put the cupcakes really close together to catch. I don't know, I think my battery's running out. Anyway, it just camera just clicked off. Anyway, this has been cooling, like I said, for about 10 minutes, and it's room temperature, and I'm pouring it over the cupcakes. I made 12 cupcakes. Actually, it was a little bit more than 12. I think I had about 16 cupcakes and an 8-inch layer cake. So I'm going to use some of that for the layer cake, or some of this ganache. So the cookie sheet. So there you go. There are your high altitude double chocolate ganache cupcakes, all iced and ready to go. I'd keep them in the refrigerator. I guess you could keep them out of the refrigerator for a while, but I think that the ganache is better cold. Anyway, if you hope you have enough room in your refrigerator. So we'll see you next video. If you like this kind of thing, please let me know by clicking like, and subscribe if you'd like. I can use all the subscribers I can get. See you next time.